Alright everybody, so this is the beginning of our instructional video series on how to use the database. And so this is the FileMaker database and that you are going to be using for field school. And so this is where you're going to be entering in your field notes and uploading media, and then also accessing transcripts of things that have been translated. And so this is just a very quick overview of everything else that's going to be discussed in the rest of the videos or in this video. But without further ado, we will start. So this is the main menu, and this is what will come up when you first log into the database. And so the next tab, we're just going to go right through them, is the Researchers tab. So this tab, the main thing that you'll be doing is doing a find. And so if you want to see what the researcher Sally did, you can do find, click find, and then it's something that's pretty similar to this. You will type in her information. The next tab, the next tab is field notes. So field notes, what you're going to be doing in here is you can either find other people's field notes or you can enter in a new field note. And again, this will be discussed more in depth later on in these videos. The next tab is the media tab, and so this is where you will upload new media and where you can find other people's media that they have uploaded. And the last tab is the transcripts tab, and this is where you can find things that have been translated if you're in a field school that requires that. And so this is, again, just a very brief overview of the database, and the specifics and the importance and the rules of using the database will be discussed further on. Hey everybody! So right now we're going to be talking about VPNs and how you can get VPN access. So just to kind of lay the foundation of everything that we're going to be talking about in this video, there's just a few things that we have to go over first. So in order to connect to the database server via the internet, if you're off of campus, you will need a VPN connection. And for this, your facilitator or your field school director will give you access to this, so you don't need to worry about that. The exception with that is that EduRoam, which is like BYU Wi-Fi connections around the world, should allow you access without a VPN as long as you log in to EduRoam with your BYU credentials. So now here are the steps to setting up a VPN on your device. So after your field school administrators create your VPN account, you will receive an email with instructions on how to download it onto your computer that looks like this, which is on the screen right now, but completely disregard this email. View it as a confirmation that you can now download the rest of the software needed. So in order to access the VPN on your laptop, first log into your Box account, which you should have on your desktop already, and then on the Belfast Box files, you're going to click on Software, VPN, and this is what you'll see here. And so if you have a Mac computer, you'll click on this file that is highlighted right now. So it's the iOS or Mac version. And if you have a laptop that operates with Windows, you'll click on the Windows file, which is the one highlighted now. And so what I will be doing next is what will happen on a Mac, but it will be comparable to what will happen in Windows. Okay, so again, what I'm about to be doing is doing it on a Mac computer, and it won't be exactly like what will happen in Windows, but it'll be enough where this video will still show you everything that you need to do in order to install it. So after you click the file, whether that be the Mac file or the Windows file, it'll bring you to a pop-up like this. And so it'll say install BYU General Access. And you'll say continue. And then are you sure? Continue. And then this is the username and the password that your field school facilitators will provide to you. And then you'll click install. That's just my password for my computer, but yeah. And then you'll see something like this, and up here
you'll see an option to connect to BYU General Access VPN configuration. So you click that, and you'll type in the password, again, that your field school administrator will have provided you. And then you are using your VPN. And then if you ever want to disconnect from it, you just click disconnect. So there you go. And something you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add your VPN status up into your menu bar for Macs. And so how you'll do that is you'll open up your system preferences, go to network, click on your VPN, and then at the bottom of the window, it'll say something like show VPN status in menu bar. And you click that, and then it'll be able to show up here. And so I'm not sure about what you would do for or on a Windows, but this is what you would do on a Mac.
Okay, so this section of the video is about uploading field notes. So first of all, this is the main menu, and from here you can click up on this black Field Notes tab. Here you're going to be able to see any other field notes that other researchers have uploaded or that you yourself have uploaded. To create a new field note, you're going to come up to this green button that says New FN, which stands for New Field Note. So now you'll be able to see a blank field note template. So the primary rule of writing these field notes is that you don't type them directly into the database, and that you type them into a Word document, which you'll save separately. So when you actually come to the database to upload your field notes, you'll just copy and paste them from that Word document. So I'll go ahead and copy and paste my example field note here. Okay, so now we have the text in the field note text, and we'll come up to this black File tab, and you'll go ahead and drag and drop your Word document file with your field note saved into this field here. And that way, should this text somehow get deleted, you'll still have the file uploaded along with it. Over on the left here, you'll see that there are different spaces where you can enter metadata about your field note. So be sure to fill these out for every field note entry so you can quickly access and sort through your data. A field note without this contextual information is considered incomplete. So first, you'll enter the field date. This refers to the day that your field notes are describing. For example, if your field notes are about attending Catholic Mass on May 12th, then you'll put May 12th as the field date, regardless of whether or not you're writing the field note at a later date. Here you can see that the entry date, or the date that we're uploading the field note, is automatically filled out for you. Underneath, you'll see the location. So this is a basic indication of where the observations were made or where the media was recorded. Be brief, such as simply giving the city, for example, Chiang Mai, Thailand. The event section, located beneath the location tab, is optional but can give more specific information, such as the Seventh-day Adventist wedding, Banchia, Thailand. So underneath that, you'll see that there's a space to give a quick summary of what is contained in your field note. This needs to be brief and easy to read, but also needs to give enough information so people can read it and know what they could find in your field note. Below that, you'll add keywords to your field note entry. These keywords will describe topics or themes that stand out from what you've written for that entry. You'll use a hashtag in front of each keyword, with each keyword separated by a space. For topics with more than one word, use an underscore to connect the additional words. Do not capitalize a tag that doesn't need to be capitalized, or it will show up as a different word. Capitalize only proper nouns. Use as few words as possible, but as many as necessary for your keywords, which will describe the content of your field note or the audio or video file. For similar topics, do the same keywords across your different field notes with other researchers, as this will allow the researchers in your field to have a standardized way of sorting through different topics within the database. This last section of information is about the participants in the field note. And this will be the people associated with this field note. First, press Select Existing down at the bottom of your page. So you'll click this, and you'll see if any of these participants are mentioned in your field notes. If you don't see their name, if you do see their name, go ahead and add them by selecting them and clicking Add. If you don't see them, then you can go ahead and click Cancel and add new, and you'll fill out this demographic information for that new participant. Finally, if you have any media associated with your field note, for example, a photo, video, or audio recording, you can link that media to this specific field note entry. In order to attach the media to this field note, it will have to already be uploaded in the Media tab, which we'll go over later in this video. To attach it to the field note, be sure that the correct field note entry is displayed. Then click on the small Media tab right here. And to attach your file, you'll go ahead and click on the Attach Media button here. You'll scroll down until you find your media, click Select, and add it to this field note entry. Now you can find the media you wish to attach linked to this field note. A few last things you should know on this page is how to navigate the field notes. You can use these arrows up here on the right to click through the different field note entries from all the researchers in your field school. So going to the first one, we'll go ahead and click on the Note tab so you can see the text. You can go ahead and click through the different field notes from different researchers. And if you accidentally create a blank field note, so we'll go ahead and show with this field note entry, you can click on Delete to delete this field note. And be sure it's your field note and that it's the one you actually want to delete. Because once you delete a field note, you can't undo it. So we'll go ahead and delete this one. But again, be sure that it's the one you want to delete. And then finally, this little Find tab right here, the green button, you can search for information. And we're going to go ahead and click on Callie Abbott. So we said we want to find Callie Abbott's field notes about feminism. We'll see if she has any. Perform find. And we didn't find any, so we'll go ahead and do a different find about biochips. And this field note and another one came up, so these are both my field notes. All right, so after all of this, you should now be able to create and search through field notes to record and access your data. So this section of the video is about how to upload media to the database. So right up here on Media is where you'll click to access the Media tab. This is where you'll upload pictures, audio recordings, video recordings, and any other media. So after you've clicked on the Media tab, you'll be able to see the media that yourself or any other researchers have already uploaded. To upload new media, click on the green New Media button, and you'll see a blank media template. In a separate window, open Finder, and you'll be able to click and drag your media file into the large white box here. So there's my photograph, the file name, which you've already formatted according to the standardization, which is listed in the database manual, will show up right here automatically as the file name. So fill in the other information about the file, including the media date, your name for the media, and what the event is, its importance, and the media file type, for example, photo, video, or audio. You'll also write a brief description of the media down here, and input any keywords associated with the media. And for these, you can see the instructions and conventions for these in the field notes section of the video that we went through earlier, and also in the database manual. And to navigate through these field notes, it's quite similar. You can use these arrows, and you can also sort through them and find them with the Perform Find option. And if you're using the Spoke file, you'll see that the other researchers' media hasn't been downloaded to your Spoke file. This is because it's a high quantity of files and would overload your individual Spoke. But when you sync it, if you're using the online version, then you'll be able to access all the other media files.
Okay guys, so in this portion of the video, we will be discussing the giant do nots of the database. In the manual, this is capitalized and highlighted in red, so just imagine that as I'm explaining and realize it is extremely important to follow these rules. So going right into it, the number one do not is do not move your Spoke file to another device and then sync it with the server. Once your Spoke file has performed the initial sync on a certain device, it should only be used and synced from that device. The only reason you should move or copy your spoke file to another device is for the purpose of backing up or archiving copies of your spoke file. However, these backups should never be opened and synced with the server. Consult your field school director if you need to recover data from a backed up spoke file on another device. The number 2 do not log into another user's spoke file and then sync with the server. It is important that only the user that logged in for the initial sync logs in to sync that file subsequently. If 2 users need to share a device, such as a laptop, each user should have their own copy of the spoke file with their name in the file name to use on that machine, and should only use and sync their own spoke file on that machine. The number 3 do not is if you need to switch devices for data entry, sync your spoke file, archive it, and start with a new spoke file on the new device. If you would like to use multiple devices for offline use during fieldwork, that is fine. Just use a separate spoke file for each device, both for your initial sync and all subsequent work. Again, a single spoke file should never be used on a second device. The main deal with these rules is your spoke file is unique to you. You can't use another person's and they can't use yours. Moreover, once it is on your device, it will stay there. If you need to switch devices, like if your laptop is stolen, you spill herbal tea on it, it happens, then you will need a new spoke file. If you have any questions, rewatch this section of the video, refer to the database manual, and if you are still confused, then speak to your field school facilitators or directors. One thing to be mentioned about spoke files is that spoke files are in offline use, and so offline use is really an offline mode, I should say, is really useful in places with limited internet access, or if you don't have internet access. But then after that, in order to get it onto the database, you have to sync it. And so following these rules with the spoke files prevents any issues to arise during the syncing process. And so it's really, really important that you follow those rules very strictly. And so again, if you have questions, refer to this video, refer to the database manual, refer to other people, and just make sure that you're staying on top of following the rules, and it will all be okay. Okay, so part of using the database, and just something that will happen, is that mistakes will be made and things will go wrong. And so when some of these things do happen, don't freak out, but just follow the simple steps and just like kind of the hierarchy of who you should go to first and what you'll do in these situations. And so first of all, you just need to assume that it's a problem of user error, and that means that it's something that you did wrong. And so that the first step is that you need to go back and try to figure out what you might have done wrong. And if you've done this a couple times and you still can't figure out what you did wrong and where it went, what happened, then you ask another person on the field school about it, and you can refer to one of your colleagues or friends on the field school. And then after that, after you've checked yourself and checked with another person on the field school, then you go to your facilitator. And if your facilitator can't figure it out, then you go to your field school director. So really, the big thing with this is your field school director is the last person you will go to. And if you go to your field director and it is just a user error, it will not be good. So just remember that it goes you, friend or colleague, facilitator, and then field school director. And if after all of that, if you still can't figure it out, or the database genuinely needs to have a change made to it, we'll work with the developer to improve it or resolve the problem. So just take a deep breath. It'll all be okay. Great. You guys rock.